Hey guys, it's Tinker Tailor here today, bringing you another shell challenge. I think for a little bit I will be doing a few shell challenges because I've definitely got a couple more up my sleeve, I guess. I don't know. A couple more that I definitely want to do. So I will be doing them. I have done a couple of other builds that are not shell challenges, so I might intersperse them so that you have a few non-shell challenge builds and some shell challenge builds. Um, But yeah, at the moment I'm really into the shells again. It generally happens when I'm feeling a little overwhelmed, I guess. When I feel like there's a lot on my plate, I find just picking up a shell and working from there to be a lot easier because I can just, you know, try and figure out an idea and work from there and work my way around it. And that's, yeah, kind of what I'm in the middle of doing. So I've got 3 builds that I'm working on in the background. But then I've got 2 more shells that I have that I want to do. So yeah, we'll definitely work around that. Yeah, doing some shells, doing some not shells, and yeah, there's definitely going to be a bunch of builds I'm doing in the background for a project that I would like to start next year, but it's going to be massive, so I really need to get started and you know, get a lot of it done. But I'm very, very, very excited for that. I don't want to say what it is, but I will probably announce it at the end of the year. Um, Again, it's a massive project. I realized it's probably going to take me, well, depending on how quickly I do it. Um, the quicker I do it, the faster I'll get done, but still the quickest at the moment I think I can get it done is 3 years. The longest it'll take is 19. Um, and I didn't want to take 19 years. So we're going to go with 3, but it's a lot of work. So yeah, hopefully we can do that. And maybe, yeah, maybe I can get it done in a reasonable time period. But yeah, like I said, it's going to be a lot of work, and I'm very, very excited for it. And then yeah, I've got just some other sort of fun ideas that I'd like to do as well, but those ones are kind of up in the air, and I'm not too sure about just yet. So yeah, definitely keep your ears peeled for that sort of stuff. Um, yeah. But today's shell we are working on is by SariasLP, who is another lovely streamer. A lot of the people who I do shells for are streamers. Um, and Sarias, yeah, absolutely amazing, wonderful human being. Um, and is currently taking a little bit of a break from Sims, which is understandable because Sims can be so draining sometimes. Um, yeah, she's currently not doing sim stuff, but she does do sim stuff and it's really, really cool. So definitely check out her Instagram, and yeah, she's playing some variety games over on Twitch at the moment, but she will get back into Sims in the future, she has said. So yeah, definitely check her out. This is her wonderful shell. I do believe she'll still be doing shell challenges, even if she is still on hiatus. But yeah, definitely check her out. So this is her show. I believe she's just releasing one every month this year. So this is, yeah, the shell number 8 basically. And at first I really, really, really wanted to do this like futuristic looking type build, and I started to do it, but then my game crashed and I lost a fair bit of work. I'd been working on it for maybe half an hour, maybe 45 minutes, and I'd saved probably, I probably lost 10 minutes worth of building. And I really wasn't in love with it anyway, so I just decided to get rid of it uh, and start again from scratch. And that's what we've ended up with here, is this build. And I'm a lot more pleased with it's definitely still something missing. But I definitely feel a lot better about it, this direction that this was going in compared to what the other one was going in. It just, yeah, really wasn't hitting the mark. So yeah, we've got this build instead, and I'm a lot happier with it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And this shell's due in a couple of weeks. It's towards, I think it's the 27th maybe. So if you still want to do it, you've still got a little bit of time. And it's not too big, not too difficult. I did it mostly in one go. Came back and did maybe like 20-30 minutes of work after stream to finish it off. Other than that, yeah, I was pretty pleased with how it ended up. And yeah, like it's done, it's finished. I'm gonna upload it to the gallery after this video, and yeah, it'll be available for you to download if you are interested. I feel pretty good with like building at the moment. Like in the past, I felt very stressed and like trying to keep on top of it and getting this backlog. I've been terrible with backlogs. Like I've never really had builds to fall back on when I get busy. But at the moment, yeah, like I was saying before, I've got 3 builds that, yeah, they're half done, but like they've started. I've done something, I've worked with them, I've gone places with them, and I just need to get them done. So I don't feel too terrible at the moment. I'm getting a fair chunk of building done, and streaming is definitely helping with that. Because when I used to stream, it would be for 2 hours, and then I'd only get 2 hours of building done, and then I'd lose the motivation to keep going, and it wasn't fantastic, and yeah, it just wasn't hitting where I wanted it to hit. But now I'm doing like 6-hour streams and working on mostly one build. So doing a lot better. Yesterday I streamed and I worked on this planty penthouse that you'll probably see sometime soon. And then after that I finished off this build. So, well, I did that off stream, but I was just getting a fair bit of work done and I felt really good about that. Because normally I take forever getting builds done and being happy with them and things like that. So I definitely feel like I'm making a lot of progress. So yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see where I go in the future and if you guys like it or not. So yeah, definitely let me know your thoughts and opinions on where this build is going. It is finished. But yeah, obviously if you haven't seen the next bit, you'll have no idea kind of what I do towards the end. Although a lot of what I do is kind of already done, if that makes, like, I go through and I do the base level things and then I come back and I decorate it. And I add the finishing touches. I find that to be a lot easier than trying to add one thing at a time. I also think I've just realized I spent forever looking for the plant that I just pulled out just then. And it's right there in front of me. I'm so stupid. But yeah, if you want to see me make mistakes like that and look for a plant that I already found, definitely follow me over on Twitch. We're back to 3 days a week, which is, yeah, before and after the day that this video goes out, and the day before the next video goes out. That's when I stream. So it's Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday for me, but it might not be for you. It might be, I think it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday for most people. Yeah, if you want to see me build live and give your input, especially with landscaping, let me tell you, landscaping is not my thing. I do really struggle with it. And yeah, if you have any tips or tricks on landscaping, please, 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 anything, even if it's one little thing that you don't think is going to be that impactful or helpful, absolutely let me know, so I can take that into consideration when I landscape. So at the moment, when I landscape, I look around at the world I'm in and I look at the plants that are already in that world and I just use that because I have no idea. No idea what I'm doing. I have no idea how it works. Um, and I know layering, you want to have multiple layers. You want to have your like grass or flower level where it's right down low. You want your bush level where it's kind of in the middle, and then you want some taller plants to fill in those little gaps. And that's kind of the direction I'm going with my landscaping. But yeah, like I said before, if you have any tips or tricks on landscaping, or if you notice something I did that you didn't like, or something I did that you did like, please, any feedback would be greatly appreciated because I seriously have no clue what I'm doing. Yeah, um, that's pretty much that on that front. I also tried to design this build that if I lived here on this lot in this shaped house, how would I live? So yeah, there is some cat stuff for my cat who's actually meowing on the other side of the door. But yeah, I thought it would be kind of interesting to like, how would I kind of do it? Maybe I wouldn't necessarily do it the way I've done it now, like with the furnishing, but potentially. I'm very, I don't know, like I could kind of live in multiple different styles, multiple different places. I'm not really picky about which one at the moment. But I know what I definitely don't like. So I'm just trying all these different styles to kind of figure out what I would actually like for my own place. Which I think is fun. It's kind of fun to explore and figure it out. And okay, if I end up living in a place like this, then maybe I'll style it like this. Or if I live one like that, then I'll style it like that. Um, I don't know. I just thought it'd be really fun and interesting to kind of figure it out. I know for sure I either like really light, airy green, light wood tone spaces, or I like really dark and moody spaces. There's no in between. Um, and it really depends on what it is, like what room it is, where the place is. So like if I'm living in an apartment, I would probably want it to be a bit lighter and airier and things like that. But if I lived in a house, I might want it to be a bit darker and moodier, I guess. I don't know. It's interesting because I grew up moving around a lot as a kid, so I've lived in a lot of different places, um, a lot of different bedrooms growing up, and I've lived at uni as well, so it's very, very drastically different there. And I don't know, I've never kind of lived in a place where I've gone, this is me, this is it, I love this. Um, I know what I don't like, but I haven't really found what I do like and where I would be happiest, I guess. Um, but to be honest, I can make any place I live, like I can work with it. I can make it into my own, uh, and be sort of happy with it. So, it's whatever. I'll be happy wherever I end up. I just don't know what my true style is, I guess. And I just really like to explore it. Like you can see in this office space, I originally had the dark green walls because I wanted it to be really dark and moody. But then I kind of end up lightening it a bit with the wallpaper. And even though some of the furniture is really dark, it's still very bright and airy, I guess. Even though some of these rooms don't have windows. That was intentional. I did have a look at putting windows in, but I decided I didn't want to. It just messed with the outside, so yeah. Windows. I also was like, if you live in like a desert space where it's really hot, you probably don't have like a lot of windows around because then it'll let all the heat in. I know that in I believe it's South Australia, But there are actually underground homes where there are, yeah, pretty much no windows at all because you're underground, because it gets so hot that it's just impossible to live above ground. It's way too hot. You absolutely could not live there above ground because it gets to, yeah, like 40, 50 degrees. I don't know about 50, but definitely 40 degrees easily. Um, and for those of you who use freedom units, I believe that's like 107. I'm pretty sure 42 is 107. I don't know why I know that specific conversion. Um, but yeah, like just based off that knowledge, I thought, it'll be fine if there's no windows because it probably gets really hot here. Um, and so yeah, you probably don't want windows to let all that sunlight in to heat up your house. So we have no windows here. And we also do have a little pool. I used the round pool rooms, frame rooms, placements, I don't know, the round pool bits. Um, just to make this little circular round pool. I imagine you probably wouldn't be swimming for very long in the sun. You'd probably go in for a dip in the afternoon shade and just cool down a bit and then go back inside and relax in the pool insides. So that's sort of how that turned out. I also made this a space that was a bit more like people come out, hang out. So there is a big what do you call it? Like a big lounge area with lots of seating, and I end up making, yes, there's a kitchenette in there, but I also end up putting um like a bunch of food around, so I've decorated it as if there is food around. Now apparently certain food disappears when you upload it to the gallery, and I have not tested that. I have no idea which food is going to disappear. So if you do download this and you're wondering why the food isn't there, that would be why. Um, yeah, I didn't test it. I'm really bad with testing and play testing, and I say, oh, I'm gonna play test this, I'm gonna play test this, and then I never do. Um, like the Planty penthouse build that I've done, I said I was gonna play test, and have not. So I might create a new save file just for playtesting. So that, I mean, I don't necessarily have to make a new save file, but look, I'll figure it out. I'll try and playtest. If I do playtest, I'll put it in the description below that I have, but if it's not there, presume I haven't, because I am terrible with playtesting, absolutely terrible. I don't know why, but I just find it so, I just don't want to do it. So yeah, I do apologize. I think part of it is because I build for me. I don't necessarily build for others, and I know some people do, and they build with players in mind, which I think people like that are absolutely fantastic and wonderful, especially for the community. But I found when I was building for everybody else, I was a little miserable. I wasn't as happy with my builds, and I was really critical of it because I was like, this is not good enough for everybody else, even though it was probably good enough for me. So yeah, I've definitely started to build what makes me happy, and well, it makes me happy. So yeah, I don't know if people have noticed a difference in my build levels and my skills, my abilities, but I do hope that it has changed um people's opinions of my builds, of my if my builds look better, because yeah, like I said, I'm really trying to pick things that make me happier, do things that make me happier. And I'm not a game player either, so I have no idea if what I do is actually usable or not, if it's like really inconvenient for game players or not. Um, so yeah, also if you do have tips on like, hey, builders always do this and it's really annoying for us game players, please let me know down below. I will absolutely take that into account when I build. If I know it, I can take it into account. but because I don't know these things, I really don't. Like, I know that if I clutter up all of the bench space, you can't cook in a kitchen. So I really should leave some counter spaces available to cook in. I don't think I did that in this build, because it's a shell and I was just having fun with it. And I also kind of completely forgot about that, but I might have left some of the benches clear. My problem is when I leave them clear, I feel like I've it just feels empty and blank in that spot and I don't like it. So yeah, these are definitely things I need to take into consideration for the people who download the builds to play with. But yeah, other than that, not really much else on that front. But I would like to bring up the A to Z challenge. So I bring that up every video because it's currently running. It is a challenge where every week you get a new letter and you basically just do a build based off that letter. I don't, or a sim. I don't give shells for it. I don't give prompts. I mean, I give ideas. So we're currently in week G. We're about halfway through G. So you can do any sort of room or build or sim. So you could do like a gardener and a garden center if you wanted to do both, or you could just do the gardener, or you could just do the garden center. But basically, since we're in week G, you have to do something that starts with G. Um, you know, if you wanted to make a geologist in The Sims, or if you wanted to make a specific person whose name started with G, you could do that. If you wanted to make just a little room that was like a gym or something like that, you absolutely could. So there's no limits, I guess. There's no, I'm not gonna tell you you can't do this, you can't do that. There are people who have someone's done builds based off of a TV show that they watch, and they take the episode name, and that's so this week, whatever the episode they picked, it starts with G. I already know that because that's what they've done for the previous, like every other letter. Also keep in mind you don't have to do all letters, every single letter, every single week. You absolutely could just do one if you have one idea and you just want to do that. Absolutely, go for gold. I'm not going to stop you. The whole point of this challenge is really just to get outside your comfort zone, create something new with a very minimal prompt, and just have fun with it, you know? I do this in 26 days in February every year, but I put it out from July to December. Basically, the last 4 letters of the year, from December to January, you have to do. I give you 2 months for the end of the year because I know there's a lot. And yeah, I do it in 26 days and it's insane. It's absolutely insane to do it in 26 days. But yeah, like I've done some pretty fun and interesting builds for that. Like I've done a train station and a vicarage and a, I don't even know what that is, like an observation deck for, I was trying to make it like a base, like a Mars observation deck where you live underground and there's like the observatory bit on top, I guess. You know, I've done a mine and I've done a laundromat and like I've done a whole bunch of things. So it's a really fun thing. And I mean, I've done 2 laundromats, I believe. I did it I've done it twice and I've run this is the second time running the challenge. The first time I did the laundromat, it was really run down and gross and like, you know, kind of dodgy. And then the second time I did it, it was a bit nicer. Yeah, just a bit nicer, a bit cleaner, a bit friendlier. So, you know, even though I did the same thing, I did it differently, and it's kind of fun to have that little bit of a challenge and get different ideas for it. Yeah, that's basically the whole premise of the challenge. I'm basically going to be running it every year until I don't sim anymore, pretty much. Yeah, if you want to, you can even wait till next year if you want to do them all. Or you don't have to do them at all and you can just hang out and check. I do tour them over on Twitch in February. So February is a very busy month for me because I'm doing 26 builds in 26 days and I'm streaming every day and posting to Instagram and doing YouTube and YouTube Shorts. Like it's insane. So yeah, if you are interested, definitely check out my Instagram and my Twitch. And I'm doing entries mostly over on Discord. If you don't have Discord and you want to use Instagram instead, that's fine. Or if you don't have either, just put a comment down below this video and I will go find your build. So just give me your gallery name and the build. You can still look at Instagram to see the hashtags. The hashtags are basically the same every week with the letter changed. So even if you don't have an account, you can still look at that and find the hashtag. And yeah, I will tour them over on Twitch in February, which is super exciting. And we will have some guest judges as well. I have not announced them yet, but I'm very excited to do that. Yeah, I'm kind of, again, I'm getting excited again for all the things that I'm planning and getting done and all that sort of stuff. So if you are interested in that sort of stuff, definitely, yeah, like I said, go check out my socials. I believe they're linked down below. And yeah, hopefully I will be able to see some of your builds. And yeah, if you want to see all of the builds I've done, they're all here for the challenge. I think I've got a playlist for them. If I don't, I'm gonna double check that. I'm gonna make a playlist. So yeah, by the time you see this, there'll be a playlist, don't you worry. Almost positive there is one for the first year I did it. Just gotta double check the second year. Yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to this build. I will be probably editing part 2's video either later today or tomorrow, so that will be done and dusted, and I'm gonna start getting ahead in my builds and videos, and I'm very excited for that. But until then, I will see you guys in the next one. Have a lovely day. Bye, guys.